Good morning, everyone, and happy Sunday. Welcome to our Self-Care Sunday yoga session. I have the amazing Trevor joining me this morning.
Thank you.
We are going to be doing a very beginner, entry level, accessible for all levels, no matter if you've never practiced yoga before, session. And the focus today is going to be on loving up our bodies and doing some deep stretching, because both of us have been doing quite a bit of intense exercise, and we both cycled to get here this morning. So we're going to be just loosening up those tight muscles around the hips, working with our hamstrings, easing out the quads, and a whole lot of other fun stuff for our spine and shoulders and just general relaxation. So Trevor is an amazing trainer, and we've been friends for a while. We cycle together sometimes, and you were hiking yesterday, is that right?
I did. I had a beautiful hike on top of Tailbone Mountain, so the weather's been absolutely perfect. I mean, how is this winter?
Summer and winter, it's amazing. It's incredible. So we're going to begin today's class by just finding a comfortable seat on the mat. And before we begin our flow or getting into our movement, we're going to just find a way to settle down and connect with our breath. So if you want to just let the hands rest over your knees, palms facing up towards the ceiling, and just begin to settle into your gentle cross-legged position. I know that for some of us who have tight hips, this can feel a little bit challenging sometimes. So if you are feeling that the hips are a bit tight, you can sit on a block, or at home if you have a hardcover book, this is perfect, just to place underneath the sit bones. And we're going to close our eyes here for a few breaths as we just let the dust settle. So the reason we do this in the beginning of our yoga practice is so that we can connect with the breath. We can begin to take note of the length of our inhales and exhales, and it also gives us a very important moment to check in with ourselves. So wherever you are, I'd like you to internally ask yourself, how are you feeling today? And then take a big, beautiful, deep breath. Inhale through the nose. And just open mouth, gentle exhale, sigh. Just beginning to release any tension that you might have had from the week before, or maybe a busy morning so far. And we're going to then move into a breathing exercise which helps us to really find that sense of calm and release any anxiety or stress. So we're going to do 4 rounds of a breathing exercise, inhaling for a count of 4, holding for a count of 4, and then exhaling for a count of 4. So let's begin now as we inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold for 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, hold for 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, hold for 4, 3, 2, 1, exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Now just allow the body to find its natural steady rhythm of breath. We're going to begin by gently warming up the neck and easing into the shoulders. So we begin by inhaling and looking up towards the ceiling. Feel the opening of the throat and the chest, looking all the way up. And as we exhale, we softly begin to bring the chin down towards the chest. Now feeling the opening of the back of the neck and the shoulders. Inhale, begin to look all the way up again towards the ceiling. Feel that opening of the throat, and exhale, chin to chest. Feel the stretch in the shoulders and the back of the neck. One more time, let's look all the way up as we inhale. And exhale, chin to chest. And now as we inhale for a neutral spine, just coming back to center. As we exhale, we bring the right ear down towards the right shoulder. So we're feeling the opening of the left side of the neck. And we just hold here for 1 round of breath. Inhale back up through to center. Exhale now, bring the left ear closer towards the left shoulder, feeling that opening on the right side of the neck. And we stay here for 1 round of breath. Inhale, come back through to center. And as we exhale, begin to look behind your right shoulder. So this is just a gentle twist for the spine. And we hold here for one round of breath. On your next inhale, come back through to center. Exhale, begin to look behind your left shoulder. And inhale, come back through to center. Now we're going to slowly begin to move our shoulders and arms. So if you would like to just let your hands rest down next to the body. As we inhale, we bring the shoulders all the way up to the ears. So nice big crunch, and then exhale back, round and down. Inhale, lift up, squeezing up towards the ears, and then exhale back, down and round. And we're doing one more just like this. This is great to do with the kids and the whole family. Inhale, squeeze, squeeze. Exhale, up, down and round. And now on your next inhale, let's lift the hands up towards the ceiling, gazing up towards the thumbs. And exhale, press the hands together and bring towards the heart center. One more time. Inhale, hands up towards the ceiling, gazing up towards the thumbs. Exhale, now forward fold. So hinging from the hips, reach the hands all the way out in front of you, extending them as far out as you can. Once the hands have reached all the way out in front, then begin to drop the forehead down towards the mat and just feel that lovely stretch in the back of the thighs and the glutes. So we're also doing a bit of gentle hip opening here, which is so important if you have been doing any running or cycling. So just embrace that feeling of the gentle opening at the back of the legs. And we're here just for one more breath together. On your next exhale, begin to walk the hands back towards the lap. So slowly walking the hands back towards the lap center. As we inhale, we lift the hands back up towards the ceiling, gazing up towards the thumbs. Now cross the legs so the opposite leg is in front. Once you're here, exhale again, forward fold, reaching the hands out in front of you, extending them all the way out and resting the forehead towards the mat. We're here for 3 breaths on the side. Throughout the practice, it's very important to remember to really allow the body to breathe properly. So we're not holding our stomachs in. As we inhale, you want to breathe through the chest, the diaphragm, and the belly. Focus on the length of your inhales and exhales and the softening of the body into the postures. So in our yoga practice, we should never experience any kind of searing pain. If you do, please move out of the posture. It's very important to make sure you don't push your body beyond your body's edge. So on your next exhale now, we walk the hands back towards the lap. Begin to sit up. Inhale, lift the hands up towards the ceiling. Now as we exhale, take the left hand, put on the outside of the right thigh. Take the right hand, place it at the base of the spine. As you press into the mat, watch as the chest lifts and elongates as you inhale. Then exhale, begin to twist, looking over the right shoulder. And we're holding here for 2 more breaths. It's a nice release for any tension around the back. And as we exhale, let's just release the arms, give them a little wiggle, wiggle, shake, shake, shake. Let's inhale, lift the hands back up towards the ceiling. Opposite side now, so right hand on the outside of the left thigh. Left hand at the base of the spine, press into the mat to lift and elongate. And as you exhale, you begin to look behind you. Just feeling that lovely, gentle twist for the lower back, bit of a stretch for the shoulders as well. Always trying to find that connection with the body and the mind, concentrating on how the body is feeling the breath as it moves in and out of the body, just helping to create a general sense of calm and releasing any stress. As we exhale again, we release the arms, give them a little wiggle, wiggle, shake, shake, shake. So now we're going to roll over our knees into a child's pose. So let's begin to roll over the cross leg. Bring the toes to touch behind you. And then we can sit back down onto those ankles first before we move into our child's pose. So here, depending on how tight you are around the hips, so for some of us this might be a little tricky, we can't all maintain the connection of the sit bones to the heels. So if you struggle with this, we're going to open the knees slightly wider. and just work with what your body allows today. So first, let's come down onto the forearms. And the aim here is even if your bum lifts up, you're still reaching the tailbone behind you as far as you can. Now we reach the hands all the way out in front, extending them just like we did in the earlier pose, and then bringing the forehead down to the mat. So this is another gentle hip opener, and we're also creating a lovely stretch along the upper body as we feel the rib cage lifting up and away from the base of the torso and feeling the tailbone extend all the way back behind you. So we're just settling here for another 3 breaths. It's a lovely restorative posture, great to do before bedtime if you just want to unwind. And if you'd like to, you can gently roll your forehead from left to right. Now on your next inhale, let's begin to look up, and then we walk the hands over to the left side of the mat and then place the right palm on top of the left. So we're opening up the right side of the body, and then gently bring your forehead back down towards the mat. And we're here just for 2 breaths. On your next inhale, begin to look up again, and then we spider finger the hands across to the opposite side of the mat. So now the right hand is down, left hand on top of the right. And as you exhale, release the forehead back down to the mat. As you inhale again, lift the forehead and then walk the hands back through to center. So Trev, this is going to be a good stretch for you. So bring the forearms back down to the mat, press the palms together, walk the elbows forward as far as you can so you can feel the stretch in your arms. And then as you exhale, bring the hands to the back of the neck and release the forehead down to the mat. And we just stay here for 1 more breath. On your next exhale, begin to release the hands back down to the mat, begin to look up, and let's press up into our tabletop position. Right, so just to double check that we're all set up correctly here, 2 fists, place them in between the knees. This shows you that your knees are hip width apart. Then placing the hands directly beneath the shoulders, spread the fingers nice and wide. We want to take up some space on the mat. So we're going to do a few rounds of cat and cow, which just helps with mobilizing the spine. So for cat, we're going to start with cow. So begin to drop the belly, stick the bum out, look up towards the ceiling. So we imagine we've got a ball resting on our back, and we want to try not to let the ball roll off. As we exhale, this is when we move into a cat. So we tilt the pelvis inwards, round the spine, look towards the belly button. Inhale, begin to drop the belly, stick the bum out, look up towards the ceiling, gaze up again, the ball is resting on the back. Now for cat, the ball comes beneath you, so you round yourself up over the ball, pressing into the mat with the hands. Let's do 1 more on each side. So inhale for cow as we begin to drop the belly, look up towards the ceiling. Exhale 1 more time for cat, tilt the pelvis inwards, round the spine, press into the mat with the hands, look towards the belly button. And inhale for neutral spine. Now we're going to move into our thread the needle posture. This is great for the shoulders, and I know that you do a lot of shoulder workouts, Trev, so let's get into those muscles.
I'm ready.
So when we inhale, we're going to lift the right hand first. So let's begin now. Inhale, lift the right hand up towards the ceiling, gaze up towards the hand. As we exhale, we're going to thread that hand through the left arm and thigh, reaching all the way out, extending to the left. Then we take the left hand, we walk that out in front of us as far forward as possible. So just check into the hips, make sure you're not collapsing onto one side. So if you do a little micro adjustment, just setting up. So the right temple is resting on the mat now, and you should feel a lovely stretch for the upper back into the shoulders. And we just stay here for 3 more breaths. This is really good for de-stressing and working with the muscles that tend to crunch up with tension at the top of the back. So if you struggle with that, this is a great restorative posture.
to practice, especially in the evenings again while you're winding down. If you'd like to, and Trev, this will be good for you for your shoulder mobility, take your left hand now that's extended right out in front of you and lift it up and around and reach for the inside of your right thigh. It's fine if the hand just rests on the side of the back, but this does just help with increasing that shoulder mobility. And on your next exhale, you can lift that left hand up, back and around and place the hand beneath the left shoulder. Then as you inhale, press into the mat, lift yourself up, lift the right hand back up towards the ceiling. And exhale, release the hand back down. How was that?
It was actually quite hard. It was fantastic.
Good. So what we do on one side, we must always do on the other. So let's go. Let's inhale, lift the left hand all the way up now towards the ceiling, stretching up, looking at the hand. As we exhale, we thread the needle opposite side. Bring the hand between the right arm and thigh, placing the left temple on the mat. Now taking the right hand, extend it all the way out in front, reaching out in front, and we're here for 3 breaths. Remember to bring your attention back to the breath. If your mind has begun to wander out of the room or off the mat, just gently guide it back to the practice. Now Trev, just like we did on the one side, if you'd like to attempt the shoulder mobility exercise, let's inhale as we lift the right hand up and around and reach now for the inside of the left thigh, or allow the hand to rest on the outside of the back. And we stay here for 1 breath. On your next exhale, you can release the hand and place the right hand beneath the right shoulder. Inhale to lift yourself up, lift the left hand back up into the ceiling. And then exhale, release, placing both hands back down on the mat. So we're back into our tabletop position. So now we're going to work a little bit more with the spine. The next posture we're moving into is called a Sphinx Pose. So we're going to release the legs down behind us. So extend them out and then come all the way down onto the belly. With the forearms on the mat, let's work them forward and then just begin to tuck the elbows closer towards the waist. So we come up and we look like a sphinx. So you should feel a little bit of work for the lower back area here, also strengthening for the shoulders, pressing the hands into the mat, allowing the legs to just zip up behind you, press together, feet pressed into the mat, ankles gently resting out open to the side. This is also a really nice stretch for the abs. So if you've been doing some ab workouts, then this will be good for you. So we're going to hold this for another 2 breaths only. And then when you're ready, we're going to lift back up into our tabletop position. So on your next inhale, begin to lift the hips back up towards the ceiling, coming back into the tabletop. Now we're moving into our puppy's pose. So imagine, like, you know how a puppy gets excited and sticks its bum out and comes down onto the floor? So that's what we're doing. So the hips are going to stay above the knees. We're going to come down onto the forearms first and then reach the hands out in front. So this is quite a nice stretch for the upper back area and the shoulders. Now if you're feeling quite open, you can rest the chin onto the mat. If this is too intense, just bring the forehead down towards the mat. So again, just working with what your body allows you to do today. For some people, if they're very open and flexible, their chest can come all the way down to the mat. It's important to remember, Trev, that our yoga practice is not competitive. This is the space we come to relax. We save our cycling and running for the competitive side.
So leave my ego.
Exactly. So just 1 more breath here together. And then slowly we can begin to come back up into our tabletop position by lifting up and then walking the hands back to beneath the shoulders. So now let's do a little bit of strengthening for the core and balancing. So what we're going to do is inhale, lift the right hand extended forward, and at the same time extend the left foot back behind you.
So you're creating a nice long line from the hand in front to the toes behind you, and we're using our core, working on our stabilizing muscles here to just keep ourselves in balance. As we exhale, we're going to sweep the right hand back towards the back thigh, looking for the thigh. Slow movement. Inhale, sweep forwards. Exhale, sweep back. Inhale, sweep forwards. Exhale, sweep back. Inhale, sweep forwards. And now for the fourth time, we're going to begin to concentrate on that left heel, bring it towards the bum. Now sweep the right hand back and reach for the foot if you can. So this can feel a little bit tight, especially if you've been working out a lot. And then gently kick to lift the foot and lift the chest. Ooh, it feels good, right? So just again, work with what your body is allowing you to do today. And we're just here for one more breath. And exhale to release the knee and hand back down to the mat. What we do on one side, we must do on the other. So let's begin by lifting the left hand, extending it out, and then reaching the right foot back behind us for that beautiful, strong, straight line. Exhale, sweep the hand back. Inhale, sweep forward. Exhale, sweep back. Inhale, sweep forward. Exhale, sweep back. Inhale, sweep forward. Now you know what's coming. Bring the heel towards the bum. Sweep the hand back. Reach for the foot. Gently begin to kick back. Look up. Open the chest. Feel that lovely stretch. Feel the opening of the shoulder. Stretch of the back quad. Just a little bit more. And exhale, release the hand and the knee back down to the mat. Beautiful work, Trev. Should we have a sip of water? So if you want to take a break at any point in the class, you're welcome to do so. Just have a sip of water to reset before we move on to the rest of our postures. So from here, we're going to move into some deep stretching for our legs, hamstrings and quads. So low lunges to half splits. So let's come back into our tabletop position. As we inhale, we're going to bring the right foot between the hands. And now just gently begin to sit up, placing the hands on top of that thigh. So now focusing on this back leg, let's shimmy that knee back as far as feels comfortable. If you need to place a little towel beneath you, if your knee feels a little bit sensitive on the surface, you're welcome to do so. So you should feel this deep scissoring action of the thighs, and we just gently do some micro pulses, bringing the pelvis closer down towards the mat. So with my legs, I'm trying to create a straight line from the back knee to the front knee. The front knee is directly above that ankle. We're also having a lovely quad stretch for this back leg. Can you feel that? And hip flexors, exactly. And we just breathe into the stretch. Allow the breath to help ease discomfort, but also be mindful of your body. Don't push yourself beyond any edge that your body is not comfortable with going to today. We're here for just 2 more breaths in this posture before we move into our half splits. That isn't real splits, don't worry, Trev. So on your next exhale, let's release the hands down to the mat and then begin to extend the hips back so that the hips are now directly above the back knee. Straighten that front leg. So if you need to shimmy the ankle slightly forward, you can. We're working now with the hamstring for the front leg. So we flex the toes back towards the face. And you are welcome to keep the hands on either side of the leg if that feels comfortable. If you'd like to hold on to the toes in front, you're also welcome to do that. I sometimes like to do that because it just reminds me that I am working with the hamstrings here. This is the purpose. And flexing the toes back towards my face tends to just increase the stretch slightly. If you're feeling pretty flexible and your hamstrings aren't tight like mine are right now from cycling yesterday, then you can bring the forehead closer down towards the knee. This just intensifies the stretch even more. And we're here for 3 breaths. So while we're doing these postures, I want you to imagine that everything we're doing is part of a healing practice for the body. So when we do the other workouts that we do, Trev, we often put the body under stress, and while it's important to maintain that fitness and get healthy, it's also really important to stretch the body out, slow down, and show ourselves some much needed love. Now on the next inhale, we're going to just place the hand back down onto the mat, bend into the front knee again, so as if we're coming into our low lunge, but heel toe the foot out to the side, place the hands on the inside of the foot, so we're moving into our runner's lunge. So there are two options here. You can stay with the back leg down on the mat, or you can curl the toes, lift the back knee, and this does just intensify that runner's lunge stretch a little bit more. So wherever you are at home, just figure out what works more comfortably for you today. For some of us, it is just a little bit easier to rest and allow the back leg to just stay on the mat. Wherever you are, let's slowly begin to come down onto the forearms. If your elbows lift up, it's fine. It just shows a little bit of the tightness in the body. If you do find your elbows are lifting, you can take a book or a towel or this block like I'm using now and just place that underneath the arms. And we stay here for 5 more breaths. I know this feels very long, but it is important to just sometimes spend some time in these stretches that can be a little demanding on the body. If you smile while doing this, this is the advanced version.
Sure.
Can't take ourselves too seriously in this yoga practice. If we fall out, it's completely fine. We just try and find our way back into it. So we just here for 1 more breath, Trev, and then we release. So now on your next inhale, let's first come back up onto the hands, so lifting ourselves back up. As you exhale, sweep the foot back so you're in a high plank. So if your back knee was lifted on the mat, make sure it was lifted first before you do that. Now as you inhale, we sweep the left foot forward, bring it into the high lunge on the opposite side. So in our runner's lunge. So from here, option again to drop the back knee, release the foot. Or if you had your leg up in the previous posture, let's try and do what we did on one side, the same on the opposite side. As we exhale again, we come down onto the forearms. Now I can see here on this side my left elbow is lifting up slightly. This wasn't the same on the opposite side. So what sometimes happens is that we're tighter on one side of the body than the other. So if you would like to for support, again you can make use of a book or a towel or something, like I've got the block here, just placing that gently beneath the forearm. And we settle into the posture. Just 3 more breaths here together. Our bodies will thank us for this afterwards, I promise.
Everything is one side is tougher than the other.
Are you left-handed or right-handed?
Left-handed.
Oh wow, interesting. So now in our next inhale, let's press into the hands, come back up, and then we're going to heel toe the foot to the center, drop the back knee if it's not already dropped, and now we're in our low lunge. So we come up, allow the hands to rest on top of that knee in front. So just like on the opposite side, let's shimmy that back knee back if you can, a little bit more, just to create a deeper stretch for that back quad. The hip flexors, as we said as well, and then just make sure that the front knee is directly above that front ankle. If you'd like to do those little micro pulses down towards the mat to just feel out the stretch, you're welcome to do so. Otherwise, just finding stillness here, focusing again on the breath. Connecting again with yourself. Our yoga practice is not about anyone else in the room, it's just about you on your mat. So we're here just for 1 more breath together before we move into our half splits like we did on the opposite side. On your next exhale, let's place the hands down on either side of the foot in front and begin to extend the hips back behind. So we straighten that front leg, working now into the hamstrings on the left side, flexing the toes back towards the face, holding onto the toes in front if you'd like to, if that feels comfortable. And then slowly, if you'd like to, reach the forehead down towards the knee, just to intensify the stretch a little bit more. Again, just be very careful, working with what your body allows you to do today. Think of yourself as loving up the hamstring, not hurting yourself in any way, even though the stretch may seem a little uncomfortable if you are tight. And we're here for 2 more breaths like this. On your next exhale, you can just release the hand down to the mat, flatten the front foot and bend slowly into that front knee. So we're almost back into our low lunge. I'm just shimmying my ankle back slightly. And as you exhale again, you can sweep the knee back to meet the opposite knee. So we're back into our tabletop position. From here, gently just begin to sit down onto the ankles. Take one round of breath to reset. So we're going to have a little bit of fun before we move on to our last part of the class where we're lying down on our back. So we're going to do some standing practice in our tree pose, which is a balancing posture, really good for the stabilizing muscles in your feet and also just about having fun. So let's just begin to stand up, come to the center of the mat. So the most important thing is the setup here. The feet are hip width apart, the pelvis is slightly inwards, the core engaged towards the spine, and we stand up nice and tall. This is our standing posture or Tadasana. We begin by spreading the toes nice and wide on the mat, so think of this as helping you to balance. We're going to start by lifting the right foot. So the first variation of the tree pose is to bring the foot against the calf muscle. If you would like to stay here, you're welcome to. The idea is that we're finding the variation that you can stay balanced in for a while. The second variation, bring the foot to the inside of the inner thigh. Very important that we never press the foot against the knee. So for those of you who are doing tree pose for the first time today, don't press your foot against the knee. It's very important in our yoga practice that we protect our joints, particularly our knees. So if you feel okay to stay here, then we can bring the hands to heart center. I'm going to demonstrate a third variation. So this is a really good posture because not only does it look great for Instagram, but it really works on the stabilizing muscles in the feet. So you can see while we're standing here the whole time, the feet are, or the bottom foot is moving up and down to keep us balanced. This really helps with, especially if you do a lot of running. So exactly. So third variation, and only if your knees don't experience any pain, you bring the foot to the inside of the hip. If you already feel now that that might feel uncomfortable, then go back to variation 2. And wherever you find, so if you want to keep it there, you can hold one hand there and then bring half a hand to heart center. As long as your knee doesn't hurt at all, that's the most important thing. Beautiful, Trev, nice work, yay!
It's just to keep it there.
It's just. So what actually happens is the foot, if you can bring it up high enough, it almost presses into that little crest. So just in there, so it's a little bit higher.
That's right, it's supposed to touch that on the left.
So there's also, this is actually quite an interesting little bit of an opener for the hips as well.
Yeah.
So let's maybe go back to variation 2, pressing the foot to the inside of the thigh. Now practicing our balance a little bit more. So I can feel my left foot's already getting tired on the mat. Now let's inhale, lift our hands up towards the ceiling. Gaze up towards the thumbs. So now we're going to challenge ourselves a little bit more, and we might fall out of the posture, and that's fine. So now we're going to wave our tree branches around. So wherever you are, this is great and fun exercise to do with your kids as well. So just wave the tree branches around. It doesn't matter if you fall, just come back in. Let's do this just for one more breath. Challenge yourself, and then begin to find stillness. Bring your hands to heart center. Beautiful work. Let's exhale, release the leg. Let's just move the knees up and down. It's amazing how when you're working those muscles in the foot. So let's just release those legs for a couple rounds of breath before we set up on the opposite side, because what we do on one side we must always do on the other for balance. So let's begin now, feet hip width apart, spread the toes nice and wide. Variation 1, just lifting the foot, pressing it up against the calf muscle. Now we move into variation 2, pressing the foot up into the inner thigh. And let's stay here for a moment. So you can also use, if you want to keep your hand here, you're welcome to. And if you did on the other side and you'd like to try and go into variation 3, you're welcome to do so. Only again if your knees are feeling healthy and if the hips are not too tight. You're welcome to help assist by holding the foot here. There's something to good yoga tights as well, you know, they help. If the material is slippery, sometimes your foot can tend to slip down.
But what's interesting is I've had a bad ankle injury on that one, and I think the mobility, it doesn't bend as easy as this one. So this one actually hooks, where the other one didn't have that mobility.
It's amazing how that's where that mindfulness comes in with our practice, is we have to be so aware of what our body needs and what it's capable of doing. And every day is different, so we have to just be mindful of that. Let's go back to variation 2, so that we can again tempt our waving tree branches on the side. So as we inhale, we'll bring our hands up to the ceiling. And if you're ready, let's begin to challenge ourselves by waving our tree branches around, moving a little or as much as you like, from the waist, or even if it's just the arms. Again, another great, fun family activity to do. And what we're doing is just really working those stabilizing muscles in the foot, practicing our balance. Just one more breath. And then let's bring our hands to heart center. And as we exhale, release the leg, little shake, shake, shake. That's a bit of our fun for the class today. And now we're going to slowly come down to the mat and begin to lie down for our final stretches of the practice. So you can just gently come back down onto your knees and then switch around so that you're sitting on the mat. Extend the feet out behind you and bring the head to rest, arms alongside the body. So we're going to focus particularly now on exercises that help with lower back pain, or to release any tension around the lower back. So as you inhale, let's bring our knees up towards the ceiling. So pressing the feet on the mat, reaching for the ankles, so as if you would set up for a bridge pose. You should be able to graze the ankles with your fingertips. That's how you know that they're close enough to the body. So the feet are still hip width apart. From here, you can extend the arms out so that they're in a T-like shape. Just be mindful not to knock your water if you have water next to you. So the arms are in a T shape, knees up towards the ceiling, feet hip width apart. Now we're going to gently rock from side to side. This is what we call our windscreen wiper legs. So imagine your windscreen wipers on your car. So as we exhale, we drop the knees down to the left. So very slowly, just drop the knees down, keeping both shoulder blades pressed into the mat. We hold here for one round of breath. As we inhale, we lift the knees back up to center. Exhale, release the knees down to the right, and we hold for one round of breath. So keeping both shoulder blades pressed into the mat. This is a softer version of a supine twist. It's just a gentle twist for the lower spine. Inhale, knees back up to center. Exhale, knees down to the left. Inhale, lift the knees back up to center. Exhale, release the knees down to the right. We're going to do one more on each side still after this, and we hold here for that one round of breath. Inhale, knees back up to center. Exhale, last time down to the left, and hold for one round of breath. Inhale, knees back up to center. Exhale one more time down to the right. And on your next inhale, lift the knees back up to center, and we stay here. So we're now going to move into a posture that's a figure 4 stretch, or reclined pigeon. So you can release the hands down along next to the body. We're going to inhale, lift the right foot, place it on top of the left thigh. So taking your right hand, you can just gently press that right knee open to the side, pressing into the thigh. So this is our figure 4 posture in yoga, but we're doing the reclined version of a pigeon now, or half pigeon, which helps again to work into the hips as well as the thigh muscles. So we're going to take the left hand, reach it around the left side. Take the right hand, reach through the thighs, clasp the hands around the left shin. If this is too intense, you can clasp the hands around the thigh instead. So clasping your hands around the left leg, now begin to lie back down. Just gently tuck the chin to elongate the neck for extra protection, and you should feel that delicious stretch in that right glute into the hip. How does that feel, Trev?
It's tight. Very tight.
But so good at the same time.
It's tremendous.
So we're staying here just for one more breath before we change over to the opposite side. On your next exhale, you can release the clasp of the hands, allow the feet to come back down to the mat. As we inhale, we lift the left foot now, place it on top of the right thigh. And just pressing the left hand into the left thigh for a moment, just pressing the knee out to the side, feeling that gentle stretch. And now we reach the right hand on the outside of the right thigh, left hand through the legs, reach for the shin, clasping the hands around the shin or the thigh, whatever's more comfortable for you. As we exhale again, we begin to lie back down into the mat, tuck the chin to elongate the neck, and just feel that beautiful juicy stretch on the opposite side. Start to really quieten the mind and focus on your breathing. We're here just for one more breath like this. On your next exhale, release the clasp of the hands, allow both feet to come back down to the mat. Now pressing the knees together, pressing the feet together, we're going to move into our full supine twist. So again, you can extend the arms out into either side like a T shape, and keeping the knees pressed together and the feet together, we're going to exhale, release the legs down to the right side first. So this is a more intense stretch for the lower spine. So gently allow the knees to drop down. As you stay in the position longer, your body will soften into the posture more. So very important to keep both shoulder blades pressed into the mat. And you can begin to look towards the left hand. So therefore, taking the twist or stretch all the way from the base of the spine to the neck. This posture is also really good for your digestive system, and just helps to release tension along the back. And we're staying here for 2 more breaths. Start to take note of your heart rate calming down, the body softening into the mat, just feeling grounded. On your next inhale, we're going to lift the knees back up through to center. So gently lifting them up, slowly looking straight up ahead. As we exhale, we're going to allow the knees to drop down to the opposite side. Allow them to softly drop down, keeping both shoulder blades to the mat. And once your knees have dropped down to a comfortable position, begin to look towards the opposite hand. And we're here for 3 more breaths. So just take this time to again begin to check in with your body. On your next inhale, let's begin to look up and lift the knees back up through to center. And now we bring the knees into the chest, both of them, wrapping the arms around the shins. We're going to roll gently from left to right. So just imagine you're massaging the muscles out around the spine. So this is a little bit of a balancing act and can sometimes lead you to falling over. So just, if you fall over, come back and keep the little rotations just soft and gentle. And now finding stillness again. Trev, I want you to try and reach the tailbone all the way down to the mat. So what you'll see might happen is that the legs lift up as you reach the base of the spine down to the mat. That's completely fine. Just allow a bit of room with the arms. So we're really trying to elongate and press the whole of the spine down onto the mat. Just be mindful again to tuck the chin slowly to just elongate the neck. And we're holding here for 2 more breaths. Now relaxing the spine again, bring the thighs really close onto the body, feel a great compression, hold on to opposite elbows if you can, and bring the forehead up to meet the knees. So you're squeezing yourself into this beautiful little ball, giving yourself this big hug of gratitude and thanks for today's beautiful practice. Some self-care Sunday love. And then when you're ready, you can release your head back down to the mat. Now taking the right hand, placing it onto the right shin, left hand on the left shin. We're going to begin to roll back and forth about 5 or 6 times. So just gently creating this beautiful roll for the body. Again, thinking of it as massaging out the spine. And on about your 5th or 6th roll, you can gently come up into your seated position. So I'm just going to turn around to make sure I'm facing you again. Our social distance yoga. Trevor, thank you for practicing with me today. It's such a pleasure to have you in the studio with me, and always lovely to see a friendly face. So namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you for letting me guide you.
Thank you so much for having me.
I hope the stretching helped with the tight muscles. Yay.
Certainly has. Thank you. I needed it for sure.
Wonderful. And thank you so much to everyone who tuned in to join us today for this amazing yoga practice. You're welcome to visit the video again at any time to check it out, and also check out the Medshield movement hashtag as well as the site. There's tons of amazing workouts and nutrition and just general health and wellness tips. So please check in with us. If you have any questions, you can just drop them into the comments section, and I'll go on afterwards to have a look and answer them. Have a beautiful, beautiful Sunday and an amazing week ahead, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you, everyone.